Hello. Gen Z and young Canadians, broadly speaking, don't see a good future in Canada. Our quality of life is bad, worse than our parents, and it's degrading further. The direction that Canada is going in right now will make things even worse. Neoliberalism, trickle-down economics, austerity, militarism, the likes we've not seen since at least World War II. The rich are getting richer and richer by the day. Income inequality is exacerbated and made worse. The Liberal government right now is taking away our rights. And the Conservative government is on board with it and would be doing the exact same thing if they were in power. Maybe just like a little bit more pro-America. Doesn't matter. They're not in power. Wealth inequality is a poison pill to society. And what? It's left young people, Gen Z in particular, with no good-looking future ahead of them. Wealth inequality is an accelerant on the destruction of democracy and our very society. Let's analyze Gen Z's material conditions. Housing. Unavailable. Rent is too high, forcing a lot of us to stay living with our parents or renting at insane rates that previous generations never saw. It's the housing crisis. Doesn't seem like there's a solution going on here. Good, stable jobs are hard to come by. They're nearly impossible to find and keep. Despite people doing it the right way the whole time, going to university, getting an education, going to college, going to training, and then they come out of that and shit sucks. There's no societal agreement. Whenever people work hard, they're supposed to be able to get ahead. And Gen Z has not been able to get ahead. University and college and training programs are ridiculously expensive, putting you into thousands, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars of student debt that you'll be paying back for the rest of your adult life. Doctors, healthcare, hospitals is generally not accessible. It's hard to find, you have to travel long distances, or maybe you just don't have a doctor at all. The climate crisis is here, and we, Gen Z, will be the ones to bear the brunt of it in the near and long term. Half the country is on fire all the time. Canada's warming at twice the global average. Older Canadians see that as well. They've seen how the weather patterns have changed over time. I've noticed it, and I'm Gen Z. It's getting fucking hotter here. And we have not collectively as a society grappled with the severity and extent to which climate change will wreak havoc across the country. It doesn't matter who you're voting for, it doesn't matter what your opinions are, it's coming. And it's coming to you. Gen Z is going to be bearing that for our entire lives. Young people are being worked to death, taking multiple jobs, having very little time to ourselves, to do hobbies, to work towards things that make us happy and give us fulfillment in life. Our ability to socialize has been decimated by the lack of third spaces and overworking, and this has all contributed to the isolation and loneliness epidemic that we're seeing across all demographics, particularly in young people. It's weighing on our souls collectively. It's a decimation of our future. These material conditions cannot be sustained at the current levels. And the older generations, at least the ones with political power, could not care less about Gen Z and the future of Canada. Our politicians have taken no serious action on any of the crises that we're facing, which particularly affect younger Canadians who are just trying to start their lives. Most young people I know, I can't afford to have a child. It's fucking crazy. Our politicians have taken no serious action in helping us. We need to be the ones helping us. We need to fight and help ourselves. Things are deteriorating. There's no time left for delay, and that's just on the domestic front. If we look at what Canada's position is on the international stage, we're neighboring an authoritarian fascist country with the largest military expenditure on the planet by far, $1 trillion a year on the military. We share the longest undefended border, maybe in the history of the world, and we're next to a fascist state who has openly stated their desire to annex us. Fascism is next door and is the external threat facing Canadians. Trump and the American military machine has deployed military across the United States. promising to fight America's domestic enemies. And Trump hates his enemies.
His opponents, he wanted the best for them. That's where I disagreed with Charlie. I hate my opponent. And I don't want the best for them. I'm sorry. I am sorry, Erica. But now Erica can talk to me and the whole group, and maybe they can convince me that that's not right, but I can't stand my opponent.
If they're willing to deploy military forces against Americans, why wouldn't they deploy it against Canadians? They're openly saying they're using American cities as a training ground for their military fighting forces.
We should use some of these dangerous cities as training grounds for our military, National Guard, but military.
Trump's literally bragging about how he's fucking Canada over with his tariffs.
And Canada called me a couple of weeks ago. They want to be part of it. To which I said, well, why don't you just join our country? You become 51, become the 51st state, and you get it for free. So I don't know if that made a big impact, but it does make a lot of sense. It actually makes, because they're having a hard time up there in Canada now, because as you know, with tariffs, everyone's coming into our country. We have more investment than we've ever had before, $17 trillion coming in.
Oh, they're not doing so well up there, not doing so hot. I remind you, Donald Trump, near the start of his presidency, said, we don't need to militarily annex Canada, we'll do it economically, through tariffs and other economic measures. These aren't people in good faith, they're fascists. You can't negotiate in good faith with a fascist bully liar. He's a fascist bully who's constantly pushing the Overton window closer and closer to an invasion of Canada. There's a naive line of thinking of, well, we're in NATO. We're in NATO with America. They wouldn't come attack us. I rebuke that thinking with, who gives a fuck? Trump doesn't give a fuck. As a matter of fact, Trump has openly started casting doubt on the very defensive nature of NATO. NATO's Article 5. He's saying, well, depends who you ask what it means. Think about how little Donald Trump cares about you. He's willing to torture Canada collectively to try and annex us economically. It's fucking crazy. You can't interact in good faith with these people because they're Nazi liars. Canadians are scared. They're scared of what they see south of the border, terrified. We must prepare to fight the fascist empire. Fascism is here. There's literally no denying it. It's only delaying when you realize it. And the best time to realize it and understand it and accept it is now. Not 6 months down the line. There's no such thing as a preemptive anti-fascist or an early anti-fascist. Being naive right now is a stupid, foolish leadership strategy. And that's what Mark Carney, liberals, and the Conservatives are doing. The Liberal Party of Canada and the Conservative Party of Canada are both fascist lapdogs who will do anything to preserve the status quo so they can keep capitalism going and going, so they can keep their portfolios and pocketbooks full of cash. Another reason which Canada has bowed to fascism is how the Canadian government has bought and sold military goods to Israel throughout its 2-year-long genocide of the Palestinians in Gaza. It's provided material support to a genocidal state who has launched what seems like dozens of wars of aggression, bombing neutral countries, all to maintain their violent genocidal ideology and apartheid across Palestine. That's what Zionism is. The Canadian government has supported it. It's why they're still, to this day, denying the ongoing genocide. The Canadian government is complicit in America and Israel's genocide and apartheid of Palestinians. Therefore, the Canadian government is in contravention of the Genocide Convention, which says we must, as humans, try to prevent and punish genocidal actions and genocidal intent. This is the most understandable and pro-human piece of international law. Canada is in contravention to that act. It doesn't take any thinking beyond looking with your eyes and seeing what Israel is doing to the Palestinians. It's genocide. Our government is therefore, by international legal standards, an illegitimate illegal entity. Israel brutally, militarily occupies all of Palestine. Palestinians are treated as second-class citizens with fewer rights than Israelis. Mark Carney has already surrendered to the fascists, and the conservatives are right there along with him. And that's why he's playing ball with the fascists down south. He's willing to concede on tariffs, concede on the DST, concede on NATO spending. Mark Carney's got at least $10 million. I repeat that all the time. He's got several homes and at least $10 million. He's trying to preserve that for himself. That's why he's lowered his own taxes. Gen Z is angry. We're angry because we're hurt by the structural, systemic social violence that's put upon us by our terrible economic and political structure. Our material conditions have degraded because of deliberate choices that our leaders over time have made. This didn't happen on accident. Canadian wealthy political elite greedily chose to put profits over people and the future of our country. It's class warfare, and we are eating the shit end of that stick. Gen Z needs better. Gen Z needs revolution. We need a Gen Z revolution now. The problem that neoliberalism doesn't see is what the structural issues here actually are. And it's capitalism. It's capitalism. Not everything needs to be for gajillion amounts of profits. There shouldn't be any profit in human rights like food, homes, healthcare, a basic decent living. There shouldn't be profit in that. Capitalism, by way of endless profiteering from fossil fuels, is literally killing Canadians and setting the country on fire. The soil beneath us is crying. The very thing that nurtures life on this planet to allow us as a species to survive. That's what's under attack right now. But Mark Carney says, drill, baby, drill. Okay, we're gonna decarbonize these oil barrels. Decarbonized oil is a fictitious notion. It's like saying a de-pooped bowl of shit after sprinkling some fairy dust on it. It is bullshit. Gen Z needs real direction. Gen Z needs hope. Gen Z needs justice. Gen Z needs empathy. Gen Z needs prosperity. Gen Z needs a revolution, a socialist revolution, a complete redefining of our leadership and politics to benefit everyday people, including Gen Z, but everyone. I'm talking tax the rich, use increased revenues to share the wealth broadly across Canada. Free college, free career training, free university, build publicly owned housing on a massive scale, build hospitals, build rural hospitals, build infrastructure like high-speed trains across the country. We should nationalize, which is just public ownership of all utilities. Our access to good water, internet, heat, hydro shouldn't be guarded behind some for-profit company. We should own that, and it should be free. Give the best we can to everyone. Look, in the 1950s, Canada's highest federal tax bracket, marginal tax bracket, was something like 80%. 80%. That number is less than 40 now. And look what we've seen over time, the degradation and privatization of public services that Canadians need. We should be expanding public services. And you can't do that when rich people are just hoarding vast amounts of wealth that doesn't do anything for them. Once you have $10 million, what's the extra dollar do? Nothing. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't make them more happy. It doesn't give them access to anything new. It's just another dollar in their bank account. They could go live the rest of their lives in the most luxurious places and probably still have a shitload of money to give to their children. They should be paying more taxes. Our revolution can be the ones to stop it. Anyways, peace and love. Bye-bye.